There we go. That's better. Org templates land edit.html. There we go. Okay. Navigation, that's correct. Something's not quite right with this. I think it has to do with how extends works. Yeah, it had to be up higher. All right, and this one we know that we're not going to deal with right now. Okay, it's good. In fact, let's just comment that out for a bit. See if we can get it to start up. Oh, good. Okay, so all of those templates are basically in there. They're not working. They're not correct. Now parse. That's what they look like. Localhost 23456/home. Good. Okay. URL for these elements don't exist. Let's go fix that. So we need URLs for each one of these. Currently we only have C's. Most of that is due to register paths in C's. So first, let's get entities. Ah, right, it's world entities. This is such the old format. Go back to home. Where's home? Almost. Forge lib. There we go. World entities, biomes, and lands. Okay. Now straight off, just need one URL. Okay. Make sure that's cleaned up right. I want them all to basically have the same base. So instead of IES, keeping it just with a Y at the end. Okay. Go to lands. They basically all have the same sort of structure, so I'm relying on that to make this quick. And what was the other one? Was it biomes? home, seas, biomes, world entities, and lands. World sorting there. Oh, we have, yep, those two go away now. Okay, let's give it a try. Hey, there we go. That looks familiar. Now if we click on it, it's gonna blow up, but nothing there. Alright, so next stage, how about us biomes next? 2 biomes. Okay, first take a quick peek at this. A lot of that's gonna be fine. Really, it's just all this garbage down here. Yeah, it's kind of almost working in a way. Now, which one do we have actually working? It's C's, right? These things are so similar. I wonder if there's a way to make this generic. My first instinct is like, yeah, you know what? Just pull all this code over, reset it, so instead of C's, it's biomes. The only thing that's going to be different here is like those words. How about that? See, does that really not have any context in C's? I thought I'd have to provide it with, oh, there it is. Yes, the DBC also has to be provided. That's right. There's probably a way to make this generic. I don't know if it's worth it though. We have to pass in basically a list of all the C's and change these values here. All right, interesting. What's the next one though? Well, edit. Yeah, this is going to be nearly identical. How do we get the generic element there though? I have to make sure that this was actually part of some interface. Get. Let's try to make this a little bit more generic, you know? Spent a bit of time in Rust since I originally built all this out. So this time we can fail in an all new, interesting way. Sorry, happy Friday. Well, let's try to focus on the positives. What about these down here? Need to know which directory we're saving to. You thought it was Friday yesterday? Oh no. Oh, that can be awkward. All right. Let's try to make list generic first. To get request. Just gonna comment. I'm gonna make a generic version of this. I'm gonna call it list. Okay, what does this need? This needs a path. So all of these basically have the same top level path. I wonder if it's possible to, in Warp, have them build upon each other. Like, so we put this up here. And something like that, you know. Oh man. Lime Dye, hey, morning. Welcome, Raiders. Actually, some of this I want to rework before we get into that. go ahead and get rid of that. I want to see this actually work. Beat Saber tournament. Oh man, I am so impressed by your that game that you guys play. That is just an amazing. I can't parse that stuff like visually coming across the screen that quickly. I want to see if C's, I can build up the paths. So if I give it like the base path here, will I still be able to parse subpaths elsewhere? I'm gonna try one of those. So if now I say, oh, and you know what? Now I just have a UUID at this point. Will edit still work for the C's when that compiles? Oh, I love rhythm-based games. Absolutely love it. Super Hexagon? Oh man. Super Hexagon's a good one. And I actually have a bit of a large family, so VR just doesn't work for us. You can't have that many people in VR. Like, we'll play Tetris on the PS4 with like 7 players. Insane. Okay, that ran. Give that a reload. Oh, so far so good. We're going to C's. Hey, look at that. Okay. We're going to edit. Ooh. Oh, and it bailed. Can you buy my game? What? Oh, they don't sell it anymore. It's a great headset. Oh, and that was not found. Right. Okay, let's see. How else can we do this? Can we... Godot and Rust, yes. Currently, they're separated by TCP, so the game server, it's kind of like a multiplayer game server. Hopefully, I'll be able to get like thousands or tens of thousands of players on a single server, and the client is Godot. But hopefully, not in the too far future, I'll be able to get Godot running in the actual or the Rust in the client. Actually, what was it? GD native? I forget what I called it. There's a really cool GD native project for Rust. So you can use Rust in Godot. I wonder if I can give this a string here. I actually pass, say, root. Can I do that? Slash. No. Non-constant value and a constant. Non-constant. What? Can I say it's const? Found keyword const, expected type. Oh, that's too bad. I don't think I can actually use that like that. Let's see. Go back to the warp docs. I think there's a way here. There's typically a path. If you're building out something like this, you would use 2 paths. Path high, yada yada. You could probably just do that. Or ignore what the base is. Another option. Let's try that. Hey, I actually need to have param there. Instead of that. So that's going to be a warp path. Param. Okay, get rid of that. There we go. Man, spring is happening. Snow's melting. You only have it in the shade anymore. Okay, there we go. Poured some tea. It's hot tea in this cold, cold office. All right, let's give it another try. Go back 1. Reload, make sure that works. Good. I'm gonna go to foo. Oh, come on, foo. No? Still no, huh? Rejection not found. That's too bad. I didn't really want to kind of double those up and just ignore that one element. What else do we have? Peek. Peek at the unmatched tail of the path. No. Huh. Oh, I wonder if I can make that generic. Probably not. I was thinking maybe we can pass the root the constant in a different way. Probably not. All right, let's try this again. Now I'm going to ignore whatever the root is here. Slash, and that's going to be a string, or whatever, and this is going to be a UUID. Oh, I did that on the wrong place. That's just for list. Technically, it doesn't need that. Okay, let's copy that. A little bit of an undo there. Good. I meant to do that down here. And that'd be nice if we only have to define the root at the very top. It looks like that's going to take, so let's mimic that elsewhere. Untuple 1 on that. Nice, okay. That should work. Let's see if that actually does work. Go back on foo. No, still no. Why? There's the previous one. Here we have path, static, C. Let's see, that's where I went back. I'm gonna hit refresh on that. Just how much of that actually gets printed out on that? Okay. Huh. So it does find that. But first it checks the statics. Oh, interesting. Okay. I guess that's expected. Then the home directory, and then it checks for C. So why doesn't that match? Now, here we have C. I'm saying it's C and one of these things. List, does list work? Let's make sure the list works. Listing a C does work. It's good. And if we look at that, it's just a GET request. So we pre-filtered it basically. Now edit, which is what we're doing there. Oh, interesting. Because the list might be in the wrong place in this order now. All it's doing is filtering by GET. Ah, but the path. So if we put the list down below, let's put the edit stuff up front. So if we put the edit in the first place, and then we finally get down the C list, that. So I wonder if we're just getting filtered out early. Could be. Could be. The tea. They're cold. Tea is so hot. It's not tea. Oh my goodness. I forgot to put a tea bag in there. It's just hot water. Oh, okay. Well, nice, lovely hot water. Refresh. Sees. Okay, that still works. Click on foo. Okay, it still bells. You want some. That tea sounds nice. Still didn't do it. But it did find the C list. Yes, encouraging. Or the edit update. Does anything else work in there? Can we go to like C/new? No. Okay. Actually, C new seems like it would be a pretty straightforward one to match on. Because new, it's just whatever you had /new. Let's see if we can figure that out. I wonder how much of the path is actually left. If you parse the path, you still get the path when you're handling it internal to that. That was some hot water. Oh, let's go back to the code. That feels silly if that was actually in the documentation somewhere. The current request passing ways. Okay. Exact. Okay. And should be used to match the end of the path to avoid having filters for shorter paths like match, unconditionally match longer paths. Okay, that makes sense. And if we go back up to filters, let's go up to the top, the macros. We have this path here. See, it seems like we're just building upon it with path.end there. All right. See, oh, here's prefix. Oh, look, path prefixes. Ah, look, we have to have a prefix. That's why. Okay, that's cool. Let's do that. It is in the docs. It's right here. This page. We have a dot syntax, which keeps it from adding the end. Okay. And if we go to edit, we have UUID. Good. And let's see if that will work. Get rid of that then. I kind of want to swap those. Say, hey, this is a GET request, and it needs that. Get rid of those. Good. Okay, let's try again. Now that we know that we can lead parts of the path or use the, what do they call it? The REST operator? Which is weird because it's a macro. They're just using that token. Oh my goodness, yesterday we made beignets. I don't even know how to spell that, beignet. B-E-N. My goodness, yesterday we ate these things. I feel like so off today. They're these little fried donut things. I think that's a horrible picture of beignets. Oh, delicious little morsels of fried dough and powdered sugar. They're so good. Oh my goodness, today life is not on my side. Oh look, edit works. Yes, okay, that's good. Boiling sea, it's hot. We can click on foo, add a bar to that. Foo bar, save. Oh look, and it's even updated. Fresh. That's all. Just go there. Seas, foo bar is there. Good. Pick a new one. It's all perfect. Okay. That's good. Yeah, we're figuring out how to make this a little bit more generic, huh? So we can actually have that at the front, and then we can provide like, what we're actually working on and maybe what that template name is down below. Because basically this whole system is the same thing over and over again, right? You can list things, you can edit an item, and you can post changes to an item. So those elements that really need, I guess, to be different aren't at the core. They're kind of at the fringe of this. Need to rewrite your game to use async? Why does it need to be rewritten to use async? Response has the, yeah. Oh, the response has the object type written in it. Oh, yes. Oh, dear. And handler list. This needs to know which object. Which template. And with 5209, I'm expecting that like you're probably building up some sort of like tool that you can run over and over and over again to be able to create these. Find the object inside the other elements. What? No. No. They wouldn't do that. Oh, they rewrote to use async? Oh dear. Oh wow. Well, also, you don't have to have async like everywhere in your code. You could just have certain sections that are async. You can have a runtime that's only in a corner of your code base if you need. Oh, can I look at Discord? Yeah. Source name, yeah. Turning the structs based on that. Are you talking about the mixers? Oh, you're kidding. Oh, interesting. Oh, I see what you're saying. So yeah, they have that sort of definition out there in a really strange way. That's strange how they are defining that. It just has an ID and enabled. I see. Yeah. How many of those are there? Are there a bunch of those? You know, it also says that it's an array of 6 values. I mean, some of this stuff you might actually have to parse by hand later. There are a lot of those. Oh, man. You might be able to have some sort of kind of pre-parser that goes through and extracts those. pull all of those out first, defining those types, and then just declaring a vector of those. Multipass. Multipath. Seems like an interesting challenge. I mean, maybe I could create a template that generates all this. Template's probably a bad idea. So if I wanted to get this, get an item out of there, how would I do that? I would probably, if I had this list function, and that's all feeding up to this handler's list. I wanted to make this a little bit more generic, or so we can pass these in. We can pass in kind of the context name. I think that insert doesn't need to be, yeah, key's just S, okay. So this can be dynamic. Doesn't look like there's any reason it couldn't. Actually, insert S, T, S size into string. Yeah, it's just something that's into a string. Should be possible for anything. Okay, let's pass that in. How do we do this with a string? Let's say we want to inject a string into that. It's our list. can't they stick to one way? Oh no, they have two different ways of doing that, or ways that have been found. Soundbeard, thanks for the follow. Morning and happy Friday. Happy Friday. This weekend I'm going to be moving the animal enclosure. It'll be exciting. It does not live long enough, it's static. Yeah, how did that happen? I don't know. That is so weird. Why won't that work? It doesn't live long enough. I know it's in a closure. It's fine. I'm trying to move it into the closure. If we clone it outside, but then it could be called over and over and over again. Let's see, how do we provide that? Maybe it's something that we should say, but and so all that does is it takes some input. Doesn't warp any map on it. The clone. Alright, well if that order of arguments is correct now, I get rid of those elements and just call list directly. I mean, the with string thing, am I doing that wrong? That seems weird. That seems so weird. Do they not have like some sort of filter that's used for this? Let's look at the docs real quick. They must have like a with such and such, or just a nice way to be able to inject something into that. Cookie, reply, etc. multi-part log. Yeah, with state. It's just, there it is. Okay, let's go back. Back to the code. I almost want to add like a with value or something that's a little bit more generic with clonable. So that's all this is, just cloning it. With clone. T. Oh, the bracket means it's optional? Oh, that's strange. Why would that mean it's optional? Toss that on there. Snag that. Where T is clone. Let's see if we can use that instead of with template. Does work, wow. Okay, that's nice. Got that, that's generic. We're gonna remove with database and with templates. Oh, come on. With underscore templates. Don't hit enter. There. Some of those. Okay. Got all those. Good. Close a quick fix. With database. Okay. That's better. So now we can pass that through. Now list has that piece, which is generic. So we have two elements left. We need that and this. I guess we could say with context and provide context before this. or provide a hash map of context, or what? Because some of the other context is going to be slightly different. Here we have C, it's got a different type. So this one's not all that crazy. Some of the other ones actually have more than one value that's being injected. Because we have like two lists, we'll have a drop down, web editing forms. So how do we get this database in there? Context, this thing here, we have a key and a value. Yeah. See, we should be able to do things like this down here. Oh, we can extend. We'd have the list not worry about the context. That'll work for this if we do the query and then pass it in. It doesn't work for other things. We go to edit, it works for edit, yes. Wouldn't work here. Because, well, we're not doing a query. First off, in order to display something, we do an update. We could pass in some sort of type, sort of iterable or future iterable. Because the templates, they don't really care about the types, do they? I mean, this code in here, all that is serialized. Terra abstracts that a bit for us. Huh. I wonder if on the database interface we could provide a type. So here, where DB is actually defined, where is it? We have all of these elements, right? I wonder if we had something, sync, function get, t, wonder if we could do something like that. Probably can. Gettable. Get. It's a horrible name. What's a better name for that? If it is like that, then we could say Rust seems similar to C++. No, it's very true. It's similar to C++. It's also, I think, similar to Haskell. So I've heard. Never done Haskell. But the type system is more akin to Haskell than to C++. So these sorts of generics, that means like it's wide open, like anything can be T here. And then you constrain it. You say, well, T can only be things that implement this behavior, this interface. So here we would say trait get, and we can actually provide either a default interface here or just a set of functions, kind of like a virtual functions in this case. This would probably be whatever itself is, or BBR. Then I could say T, or rather whatever this thing is, whatever the type is here. What IDE am I using? But not much hinting. Oh, interesting. I'm actually using NeoVim. So I'm using NeoVim with Vim, which has, I'm trying to remember my little macros here, which has Conqueror of Completion along with Rust Analyzer support. I don't know if IntelliJ has Rust Analyzer support, but it has changed the way that I write Rust. It is brilliant. It's very good. Yeah, VS Code with Rust Analyzer works really, really well. In fact, Musean, who is occasionally here, if you watch his stream, it is all Rust Analyzer with a Visual Studio. Oh, Vim. Yeah. If people are trying to onboard with Vim, highly suggest using something like Rust Adventures, not a Vim Adventures. I think that's it. Let me double check the link before I send it. Yeah. It's fun. It's got, you can get through kind of the basic stuff without having to pay anything. That's actually what I use with my kids. Works out pretty well. So in this case, I could say I want one of those elements. We're going to invert this. We're going to say T. Because that's not taking a trait type, is it? Or it's not taking a self here, but it could take a database connection. So what if this took one of those? So we await the database connection, yep, and throw the error. We need to. And T get, and we provide the DB to that. Okay. Ah, but there's no self here. Can be. Okay. Now for this one. We do here. Okay, that is just going to get a database connection, I guess. And returns that. Okay. Size for value of type self cannot be known at compile time. Sure. How do we do that? We need some way of returning whatever we are. Use an associated trait type. What? Private trait get in public interface. Oh, I see. Public trait get in public interface. Okay. Now let's try to implement this for the other type, because I think this will be actually kind of cool. What were we doing? We were looking at C's. So let's implement that for the C. DBC. DBC. Here we go. Oh, Fluffy Poga, thank you for the follow. Item is going to be a DBC. Actually, where is that? DBC. Is there a new or something? Where's it defined again? Oh, that just is a tuple type. Okay. So we give it the connection. Something like that. And then c dot get all dot await. Ooh, oh, it's trait types. Oh, Kronborg, you tried that. Oh, that's good. I like Vim Adventures. I even learned stuff in it. And I've been using Vim for like 20 years. Except for that one stint where I tried to use evil mode or whatever in Emacs for a bit. That was a year or two. So I could do this. We could make this work through async using that other crate. That would work. Get all. This is always async. Actually, the content in here isn't actually async, even though I'd like it to be. I'm not actually using any interface here. Where were we? We are using async trait here. Interesting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and use it elsewhere, since it's already in here. Make that an async trait. Async function. Await that. Oh, it's a vector of C items. Yes, that's right. Maybe we should change that from like that to get all, or all, get all instead. Okay, let's go back and change that other one. Get all. Okay, so it's not a member of that. What? Oh, there it is. Okay. We'll actually call the function. So close. that returns that type. I shouldn't have to do anything crazy with that. Oh, DB model C. There we go. Yep. Oh, well, what are they using below? Oh, just C? There we go. That's not too bad. So then if we went back into Forge, where we were trying to list these, you know what? We want a list of C elements. How would we do that here? We'd say, whatever the type is, T, where T is DB get all. Yeah, you can just figure out the other one, Rust. Oh. Should be right there. But mod DB. Was it DB? You. Alright, try to clean that up in a moment. B dot get all. We want to pass it a new type, so that's going to be of T. We'll await that, unwrap it, map or else on that. So now we need a T here. All right. All right. And get all is not implemented for T. Yeah, I have that kind of looping, don't I? That's not quite right. It's this element here. T get all item T. How do we unravel that? Because that's going to be C. Right? The C as in ocean, right? The C. I'm going to say I want to get all of the C items. And then here we should be able to get all of the item. Maybe we should. Because those are slightly different. One is the database wrapper thing, and the other is the database model. Okay. Hey, look at that. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. There we go. Serialize not satisfied. For T. Oh, where does serialize come from? I don't even know if I have that in this crate. Let's see. I don't think I do. Maybe. Does Terra re-export that? Doesn't look like it. No. Okay, so let's go grab serialize. Now this here is the model C, so it should be implemented. Oh, I did forget to switch. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Apologies. Trying to figure out this error here. It's saying that get to all is not satisfied. Following implementations were found. Do that wrong? Well, of course, something's wrong, right? Because just providing DBC here, that's going to be the wrong type, I imagine. Oh, DBDBC. I've got something a little wonky in my types here. Let's go back. When I tell the database object that I want all of a certain thing, I have to give it the type that I want to call get all on. So that type here is going to be a DBDB. Sorry, it's going to be the database wrapper type for the C, not the model. Not the model at this point. problem is that here we're not returning the model here. Interesting. So it's like we do need some sort of associated type. I don't think we can use those together. We can't use generics and associated trait types. I don't think we could say or type item here. I don't think that works. Let's try it. Or maybe it's that we can't use the generic in the item. It's like we need some other type. So here, say, down here we're returning a C object, right? And it's just this struct. I wonder if there's a way to give this some other type. Probably. I wonder if there's a way in Rust to do that, to associate basically the return type of this get to all. So we could say, oh well, you know what? Whatever this thing is, it has to implement this other interface that happens to return, that has a return type. Like if T here had some other sort of return type. Like that. I don't think we can have associated items on a struct, can we? Go back. Where was it? Here. Here's C. I mean, we can't do that here. We can't have that sort of associated item like that. We might be able to have some sort of const function that returns the type. I haven't played with that before. Or we flip this. Because we do have a database object, right? Yeah, we do. Okay. Let's not do that there. We'll just put get all on the other type. Where this takes something of type database. Can we do that in a trait? I don't know. Get all, okay. Get all has 0 type parameters, but its trait declaration has 1 type parameter. That's right. Okay. There we go. It's a little better, hopefully. Oh. Got those. Okay. We flip that around, so now we're providing database to the get all. Let's go back to the C's now. So we're going to provide, yes, the C object. So we have that type. Get all doesn't take. We'll pass DB into it. How do we constrain that? This T doesn't need to be serializable. We can introduce a U. We can say U is, so what was it? Saturday serialized, yeah. Where U all right. Wow, it's kind of coming together. I need to look at this from the top of this file down. We were here. I'm going to make this list thing a little bit more generic. We can just, hopefully, maybe just implement this one function, and the rest of these will just be more or less generic. So we're going to call list. We're giving it a type for the C, and this is for DB there. Giving it which template it should use. Giving it the template system. Database itself. Jump down into that. We have a list. Cloning the template. That's a string. Templates and the database. Passing that in. Now here, we're probably going to need the same sort of setup. So the next one's probably a little more complicated, isn't it? Yeah, here we're passing 3 elements, and this one's type T. Can I pass it like that? Good. Okay, now we have the other constraints that are becoming an issue, which is perfect, as we didn't have these constraint up here. Our constraints were slightly different. Database, get all. Oh, yeah, it didn't have U. Expected 3, found 1. EU DB. Okay, I think we can actually do something similar next around here. No, I think we have to pass you. That's good. Okay, so it's fine. We have one more element inside of there. Make our list little bit more configurable. That's this string here. Um, we just call it list and require that all of the templates use the same value name. We make it configurable. And that seems so weird. Almost like we need some sort of structure for that. I like kind of those unnamed arguments there. I'm gonna pour some more hot water. My hands are so cold right now. Let's just do it. Template, list name, list name. Actually, I think those don't need to be static. Okay. List is now generic. Yay. All right, which one's next? Maybe just work top to bottom here. And now that we have a little bit of an idea of what might work, I think it should be a little easier. Do the same thing with the edit. And be funny. Where's edit? There we go. Okay. Let's do the same thing for C. It's no longer a vector. Okay. Needs a DB as well. There we go. All right, we need to clone a couple more things. Template, yes. The item name. I think it's going to be in that order. We'll see. Yeah, we have the UUID first. Okay. Technically, those are static. Did I put that on the wrong element? Oh, yes, yes. And update actually feeds back into the other one. So we have to do both of those at the same time. Okay. We call update. It's funny, I don't have... Did I extract that out already? Did I? Let's look at the diff. I don't remember what the template name was actually called. This one. Okay, it's called C and C edit. Got it. Same order as this one down here. Actually, a list, that should be C's. Yeah. Now for update. Update loops back around, calls edit. I think we can actually put these after the tuple one. I'm not sure about the order at that point. Order's going to be all messed up. We just pass them through. Hmm. Actually, I think we're going to own this string, so let's just call it string. There we go. We're going to own it. We're going to pass it through. Because after the clone, it's pretty much ours. Okay. I have to change that from the top down. At this point, we're passing in references to static strs. Here, those become actual strings. And that wants to just borrow it. Okay. Oh, can't find the list name in the scope. Oh, I put too many colons there. There we go. Okay. There we go, that's passing through. And we didn't do create yet. Yeah. Ooh, it takes 4 but 3. All right, what are we going to call this? This is actually going to be the same as new. What does new want? New wants... Wait, what? Why is that the same as new? That shouldn't be the same. It's the same as edit. Same as edit. There we go. Yeah. Now for the type updates. Okay. Where to now? Propagate that over to list. Really? Oh, the string stuff. That's a clone. That should be okay. No, that's fine. Huh. Because that does seem to want a kind. Did I miss one? No, that's fine. Hmm. Strange. Yes, they are static borrows as far as this function is concerned. Not sure how this one's going to work out then. Oh, because the clone on these is different actually. Well, let's undo that a little bit. Okay. I think the problem is that when we go into the clone, here, this with clone, what's it actually doing? We give it something of type T, and in this case, T is a template string, which is this static. I tossed one of those on there. That actually fix this, or to owned to string. think it's the same as two-owned in this case, but just make sure the type is good. Yeah, that was a problem. Okay. What's this one want? Ah, yes, same thing. All right. Got that and that. Wow. Let's run that. So, kind of reviewing what we did, made some of these a bit more generic. Update and list are quite a bit more generic. And edit, actually. Update could use a little bit more help in terms of being generic, because here it still ends up calling is it this handler for update. Now we have C all over this. But this update C call here, that should be changed. Okay. Gummit, morning. Okay, we're gonna switch to the browser and see if this actually still works. I'm gonna come back to here. Now C was the only one that we were working on, so let's click on that. List works. Wow, that's good. Okay. Info bar edit. Rather, yeah, the edit works. Or let's add a Baz to that. Foobar Baz. Save. Good. Wow. Nice. Okay. So those are working. Nice. Okay, let's go back to the code. Let's do an easy one. Let's work on the new one. This is just going to be template. C.html. Happy Friday, Jummit. Oops. No. C new.html. I forgot already. Oh, here. And then new feeds into create. Collects it. Goes into that. Okay. I'm going to need some way of going to these from these form fields to these other types. I think I'll probably have to create a trait here. So I don't think it's going to be specific enough to the database stuff. Goodness, a lot of this is just going to be made generic, and I won't have to do so much boilerplate anymore. Will be lovely. Okay, let's make sure that's working. Reload, click on new. Ooh, see new. HTML doesn't exist. See new. Where's my template? Templates. C. Was it just called C? Yes, that's all. Okay, I recompiled that. Let's retry that. Good. That's nice. It's working. Okay, back to the code. So some of these elements here, not sure how I'm going to do those. This update C. I'm just going to have some sort of function like this. I mean, part of it is the persisting of elements to disk. It'd be okay having like this form handlers, right, for update and create. It does seem like this should be provided somewhere else. All we're taking here is just some ID fields. We could just pass a function into that instead. Okay, so this function with db, UID, and form fields. What does the other one return? Is it just a C? The result with a forward error, yada yada. Okay. And technically we don't use the return type, so we don't need it. Could do that. There we go. That would be better. And then we just call update with it's here. Yeah, we need to pass that all the way through. Can you actually clone those function handles? That's a type alias. Oh. Because we're in this. Oh, that's an async function as well. Huh. Oh, how do you do that? Because that then needs to be something with a future output equals something like that. That's not going to work. I could box it. Hmm. Where were we? Ah, here. What do you mean you can't find that? Of course you can. No? Yep. I put it in the wrong spot. There we go. There we go. The size of that can't be known in a compile time. Hmm. I could make it some other type. What else could I do? Box the future. That's possible too. Not a bad idea. I mean, this is lightly used. Not worried about the allocations there. And I think it only allocates once, doesn't it? So it's good though. We're kind of coming up to a stopping point. I probably need to research this a little bit. Either that or F O. Oh my goodness, that can't work, can it? Oh, what a mess. This one takes 7. 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? Ah, here. We need to clone that or pass that somehow. Is that clonable? Oh. Spot the difference. Ah, is F and then DB? Did I get the order wrong in the next one? Yes. Just gonna put that at the end. All right, and what is the update function? This is going to be app. Where are we? We're in routes, so it needs to be super app. Let's see. Oh. Okay. You cannot share between. Oh, interesting. Why not? You're just a function. Why can't I pass you? All right. Well, my time's up. I'm gonna go read the Rust documentation a bit and have some coffee. Now we're gonna raid Musean. Musean is basically comes around here. He helps. They have been actually a really great mentor to me with all this Rust stuff. So I highly recommend following Musean. There's usually some I like his music. Some people are kind of iffy on it, but he doesn't speak on his channel. I say he in the neutral form. but they don't speak and are just amazing at Rust. I'd highly recommend just watching, following along. They're usually pretty responsive on the chat too. So I'm gonna enjoy some coffee and look up how to pass function pointers around in Rust. So until next time, bye bye.